Hey guys, it's Dreamer here, and today we are back with Bottom of the Well. I've really liked the first game, or the first playthrough that I did of this, and so I thought I would do another one, but this time we are going to do the Dark Alice. So let's go ahead and get into this. I would like Dark Alice. Dark Alice is an Alice min-maxed. For maximum ruthlessness and efficiency, she will almost certainly be able to survive most of what the world throws at her, but she will not be able to reach the absolute final ending. She is a canny, super fit survivor with excellent organizational skills, albeit without a social or romance bone in her body. Well then, accept and start. Dear Diary, today I had the weirdest dream of my life. I'm waiting for Joe to come online so I can talk to someone about this. God, I feel like I'm going crazy. Morning, eh? Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No. Well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on! Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on the radio. You're such a lewd. Amazing I can even catch you online. Shut up, I am not a lewd. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning in on the broadcast, and I must have hit AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh! Government-run number stations. No, it was this weird, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, but maybe lyrics? But the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went on my balcony and tuned the antenna until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music, with an odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the white night has taken backwards. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Oh, so somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies. It felt like there was something else there, some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird. And then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? I was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world, except I didn't think I was in another world. Does any of this make sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. It's important you know that I wasn't acting like I would in a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV turned to the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. Okay, so far this is the same as the first playthrough with the default Alice. Curious, start changing up. You were alone? Yeah, I just had gotten back from the store and was unpacking my groceries. I had TV on to catch the evening news and weather, I remember buying a lot of canned food for some reason. I think that's different. I don't remember that in the last one. Since when do you have more than a spare packet of ramen noodles in your cupboards? Hey, stop underestimating me. Future Dream Me was a pretty organized type. Although, blech, I don't know what I was thinking with all those cans. Definitely paranoid. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system. Jacked the volume all the way up, too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack right now and that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bomb hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens, I don't know. And I knew things were serious. So, what do you do? Let's see. I went online to find out what was going on. I immediately called Chase. I needed to think about my opinions. Okay, so last time we chose Chase. So let's try going online and figuring out what's wrong. Can you try calling someone? Like your parents? Clearly not. Of course I tried, but it was futile. The phone network was completely overworked, but the net still worked fine. So what'd you find? The net was still working, but the bandwidth was severely lacking. The major news networks were either down or overloaded, but all the big search engines defaulted to some kind of government site in super simple HTML that kind of confirmed it really was a real deal. Isn't the net supposed to be some kind of DARPA invention anyway? Wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of system in place to take it over if need be. Well, they hadn't taken it over. You could still go wherever you wanted. Facebook still worked. Apocalypse-proof servers. Nice. It was insane. I tried to get in touch with my brother. He's the only one who's even got an account, but there was no reply. I spammed my aunts and sent an email to my mother, but I don't know. It felt like I needed to find someone right there and then. And nothing. I just pretty much described my online presence. Although I did take the opportunity to search for the closest fallout shelters to my address. Clever. And I found one on 3rd. There was a second result just under it. I guess the search algorithms were still going strong, which led me to a Facebook group discussion. Seemed like a lot of people from around were headed there. Maybe worth a shot? So what happened next? You know, I did find you online. That must have been useless. I'm all the way over in old Blighty? Unless things were different in your dream. No, you were still in the UK. The bombs had already started falling where you disappeared. There was nothing more to do. It was only a dream, Al. Sure. That's depressing. So, then what? Immediately tried to call Chase. I needed to think about my options. Shelter seemed like the best option. Let's try calling Chess, see what happens next. Chess, who's that? My boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up. You mean to tell me this sudden new boyfriend of yours? I thought you were into the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there, like maybe something online. Yeah, maybe online or something. Although I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. What if there's a guy there named Chess? Good icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you last night. You were in my end of the world, buddy. Funny. Alright, I just You were saying about chess? What kind of name is that anyway? I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, he was pretty hot, I guess, and smart and into me. What more could you ask for? I can sense you blushing all the way over here. Maybe I could check my OkCupid profile, actually. So, what did your boyfriend think? Well, first I tried calling him, but all I got was a pre-recorded network busy message. But the net still worked, so I hit him up there. We did most of our communications in chat anyway. And he wasn't online. Kind of a dumb idea anyway, I guess. Alright, so let's try the Fallout Shelter. The old Fallout Shelter The old Fallout Shelter was down on 3rd. It wasn't far, close enough to walk anyway. Did you think to bring anything? Oh, right, yes. I grabbed the biggest bag I had. An honest-to-God hiking bag. I've never owned a hiking bag in my life, but in the dream I did. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do flashlight, first aid kit. Food sounds like a good idea. We can do 3 days of food. If we're going straight for the Fallout Shelter, I don't think we would need the radio. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Well, go on. What was it like? Did you run into trouble? You could say that. God, that shelter. So, I headed towards the shelter from my apartment. I'll admit, I was still kind of hoping it was all just some kind of big false alarm, and by tomorrow everything would be back to normal. Like an extreme version of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast. Actually, the panic that radio show caused was greatly exaggerated, probably by Welles himself. And it worked. We still remember it today. Great ad campaign. Guess that English Lit degree is coming to some use at least? Yeah, well, it didn't really feel like it. I remember trying to think of words to describe the way the streets felt, the way the city sounded: turmoil, chaos, anarchy, tumult, pandemonium, the capital of hell? Now he's got a degree in lit. Stop stalling. Yeah, it's just so fucking damn. Like I said, everything felt so real. The panic in the streets, the accidents everywhere, with no emergency responders showing up, and the ever-present siren. It was like everyone walked with their eyes to the sky, just expecting to see a flash. Did you make it to the shelter okay? The shelter was actually in the basement of a bar. They used it as a storage, which was handy since there was a door towards the street. But there was no signs of anything like that anymore. I just knew about it from the Facebook conversations. Okay, wait. Isn't that the bar you always go to? The red bar? Yeah. Go on, Alice. Did you go in? I went to what I thought was a side door. It wasn't the kind of alleyway I'd usually hang out in. I could just imagine junkies and hobos sleeping among the trash bags. Anyway, the suspense is killing me. So I knocked on the door and then immediately tried the handle. It was locked. Nothing happened for a while. And then the door opened. Just a bit. And she stuck her head out. She? The bitch queen. She was red-haired chick. She was this red-haired chick who had taken charge of everything in there. She was the one who originally posted that about the place, so I guess she felt she owned it somehow. She stood there in the doorway looking me over, and then basically said, "We're full," like it was an exclusive club. I can't believe they'd just keep you out for no good reason. Was it actually full? Not a chance. There was a sign on the door that said capacity 100. There was just no way they were at 100 people in this place already. I said as much. She didn't reply. I guess you didn't just let it be at that. I tried talking my way in. I tried pushing the door open. I said I wasn't the only one waiting to get in. I gave up. Just try talking your way in. Tried talking my way in. You can't just leave me out here, and so forth. She just repeated that they were full, that there wasn't enough food for any more, that I should try to find some other place to hide. Stone cold bitch indeed. She actually had nothing on me in this dream. I was worse. Seriously? I told her, you opened the door for a reason. You opened it because you're still waiting for someone out here. If you really were full, you'd just keep it closed. Since I know that, you know this. Whoever it is you're looking for, whoever it is you're hoping will come, sister, brother, parent, lover, friend, I'll make absolutely sure they will never make it inside. Jesus Christ, Al. Yeah, well, it worked. The bitch queen went pale, and just like that, the door was open for me. So she let me slip in, closing the door behind me with a bang. Oh, damn. That was harsh. I barely had time to get my belongings before she started taking command again, telling me to hurry up and empty my bags. Empty your bags? She had some kind of notion she could be in charge of the supplies. And what did you say to that? Talked to her about it politely. I asked her who the hell put her in charge. I followed her orders and didn't want to rock the boat. Who the hell put you in charge? Holy shit, Alice. I didn't know you had it in you. I didn't know. I was tired, stressed out of my mind, panicking, and the bitch tried to keep us outside. And now she wanted my stuff? I didn't have time for her shit. You go, girl. How'd she react? Stunned that someone would actually stand up to her. What did she have to say for herself? She said she was the proprietor of the Red Bar, and therefore the legal owner of the Fallout shelter, and that it was only out of the kindness of her heart that she allowed us inside. Allowed you? Huh. Tell me about it. I reminded her nuclear war was about to go down out there, and that whatever bullshit ownership ideas she had were quickly going out of date. There would be other forms of currency soon enough. Geez, Alice. This was, what, half an hour after the announcement? You got real fast. This was kind of what I had been preparing for. I was just mentally in the space bar, I guess. Anyway, a lot of people stopped and took note, and she went quiet. Did she leave you alone afterwards? The place had maybe 20 people in it, us included, but she stayed away from most of the rest of us. So yes, she did. Were you the last to arrive? No, soon after us, there were some others. These she let in without trouble, embracing one of them. This big barley guy with a motorcycle jacket. Someone you knew? Kind of. I think his name was Ray. He liked his motorcycles. I don't think he recognized me, though. But the place was still empty. Yeah. Soon after, though, there was another knock, and this queen tried to do the same thing she did with me. What did you do? I stepped in. This was unacceptable. I protested naturally. I kept quiet. I stepped in. Damn right. When I raised my voice at her, she turned red. What was your approach? Did I mention I was damned fit? Did I mention I was damned fit in this dream? I didn't give her a chance to protest. I just pushed her away and opened the door to the people outside. She tried jumping me. Catfight? But my friends backed me up and pulled us apart. But then her crew, Ray and his friends, showed up, and all of a sudden there was a whole fracas. The people waiting outside took the opportunity to stream in, although half of them just slunk into the shelter, and the other half joined in the fracas, of course. So I guess in the end you won? Well, the alternative was she wouldn't have won. She would have won. What happened next? The end of the world happened next. The bombs. We were all underground down a set of stairs leading to the actual bunker. It was filled with barrels and barrels of beer and other drinks. But at least there was light for a while. Wow, this Alice is a heartless bitch. I like it. So, it actually happened. The nuclear war? Yes, I had a radio with us. We had a radio with us, and we all sat clustered around it. At first, there was sporadic reports that the U.S. missile defense system was working and that it was shooting down the incoming warheads. But then the signal turned off, and a few moments later, we felt the rumble. Holy shit. But you were okay. The shelter did what it was designed to do, yes. Although at one point there was a terrible sound just above us, and the shelter was briefly filled with dust. I was pretty sure we were all dead. People were screaming, babies were crying, lights flickered and died. It was the end. Holy shit, your subconscious wasn't joking around. We sustained on candles and flashlights and waited for the radio to come back. It did, after a while. What did it say? Just about expected fallout patterns. It sounded very recorded, but I guess there had to be someone alive up there still clicking the buttons. But even that ended after a while. Wow. Okay, so how long did you stay down there? Well, the radio said there was a cloud of radioactive ash coming our way within 24 hours and told everyone to stay inside until further notice. Then it died. So, I guess you stayed at least 24 hours then? Of course. The problem came when we tried to leave. What? Well, the shelter was underground, underneath a big trapdoor, and the house above, it had apparently collapsed, and the trapdoor, we tried to open it, pushed and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. Damn. That's like a real nightmare. Buried alive. Well, we had food down there for a while, and if we started drinking beer with our meals, we could probably stretch it out for weeks. Of course, then we'd all be kind of drunk all the time, too. But what then? Maybe there'd be rescue? Maybe. But what if there wasn't? What did the others think? Ray and his queen wanted to sit tight and wait for help. A few of the others wanted to find an alternative way out, maybe through one of the ventilation shafts. A third option would be to keep working on the trapdoor. It opened out, but if we removed the hinges and got it to collapse inwards and then dug up through the debris, the radioactive debris. Yes, but the radio had mentioned fallout falling down within 24 hours, staying put if even for just a few days longer, and then trying one of the other options might be optimal. Anyway, people were getting very antsy, so it was time to make some kind of decision. So what did you do? Staying put and waiting for rescue seemed to be the best option. I voted for working on the trapdoor, Opening up an alternative exit seemed the wisest, like a ventilation shaft. What did it matter what I wanted? I just sat back to see what the others did. I think a ventilation shaft sounds like it might work. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you get your air from the ventilation shaft? Well, yes. So it was kind of risky to go messing with it, and we all knew that. But the trapdoor didn't feel like a good idea, and neither was just staying put, so it was a shot. What did you find out? Well, I stood on the shoulders of some of the others and managed to dislodge the grate in one of the shafts on the roof. I shone a flashlight in and saw it was just barely big enough for one thin-shouldered person. Sounds like someone I know. Yeah, I might be thin-shouldered now, but in the dream I was considerably more buff. I tried, but I couldn't fit. You have the weirdest, most specific dreams. I mean, seriously. I didn't... Yeah. No. It was specific. Anyway, we asked around for other volunteers, but no one wanted to do it. It was a very small shaft, and no one knew if it actually could be traversed or not. What if you just went around the bend and got stuck? How would anyone get you out? So, what did you do instead? Okay, enlarging the ventilation shaft sounds dangerous because it could collapse and then there'd be no air. So let's try the trapdoor, although then again, if everything collapsed inside, who knows how much stuff would fall in, and what if it filled a good deal of the fallout shelter? I don't know, giving up and doing nothing just doesn't sound like an option, so let's try the trapdoor. The trapdoor, huh? Seems like the safest idea. What did the bitch queen think? She was set on staying inside. She wouldn't lift a hand to help. I'm pretty sure that even if we managed to open the door to the outside, she'd still stay. Did you open the door? We managed to break open the trapdoor so that it opened inwards. This only took a few hours. The guys who had been helping me with the door were both hit with the rubble. I think one got his leg half crushed, and the other got a really nasty blow to the head, that gave him a concussion. Oh, damn. But aside from that, it must still have felt pretty great, right? Not really. For a brief moment, there was a flash of daylight from outside, but it was just a flash, like someone offering you hope just to snatch it away immediately. But at least we were reminded that the sun still existed. So how much work was there? A lot. Really. A lot. I wasn't alone, at least, but it took pretty bleak. Yeah, it looked pretty bleak. So, did you get out? Did you get at it? Yeah. Well, I also knew that the dust would be radioactive, at least to some degree. There were 10 of us there to help me clean the rubble. We needed to get it done fast, so fast if we were planning on living tomorrow. What did you do? We started digging. We decided to wait for a while. Let's start digging. So we started digging. It took maybe 2 days, but by the end of it, there was light. And then, well, I and most of the others felt like complete shit. We were throwing up. I had this absurdly awful migraine headache. It was awful. A lot didn't make it at all. They were just too weak. It was the radioactive dust. But it didn't affect you as badly? I managed to soldier through it, but I had a feeling I wouldn't be bearing any children with only one head after this. Why am I not laughing? Because it's not funny. So, what did it look like? The world. It was It was destroyed. We crawled, black in the face and bleeding from our hands, into hell. The city was a rubble. Everything was covered in black ash, some of it still falling from the skies. In the distance, fires. All around, silence. Jesus. So, what did you end up doing? Well, the bitch queen wanted to force our hand. She said in no uncertain terms that she was staying right there, and that anyone who didn't want to wait for rescue was free to leave. And you? You were free to stay? Not in a million years. She was adamant I left. Me specifically. Queen Bee syndrome. The others? The others crawled up after me. They do what I wanted. A few others joined us as well, jumping camp. So, what did you decide to do? It was time to leave town, all of us together. It was time to leave town, but I was doing it alone. I wanted to find out what happened to Chess. I wasn't going down without a fight. That fallout shelter was ours. There's no point in keeping the fallout shelter. Clearly we were trying to leave. I don't know about going and looking for Chess. Leaving alone doesn't seem like a good option. Staying in a group sounds like the best option, but at the same time I kinda wanna look for Chess. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Let's see what happened to Chess. So, going after Chess, where would you start? At his apartment. It was just a few blocks from mine. Alright, so you did that. I thought I could go and check. How was the walk? Gruesome. I mean, the destruction lessened further away from my building, but it was still pretty bad. Cars, bodies, ugh. But I just tucked my chin down and hurried, not stopping for anyone or anything. Did you have the key? Of course not. But that didn't matter. The door of the building was unlocked, and when I got up to his apartment, I found the door left open. He must have left in such a hurry, he forgot to close it behind him properly. I still knocked before entering, but there was no one there. Huh. So, what'd you do? It was familiar to me, his apartment, I mean. When we met, say no more, yours or mine, etc. Damn, what a dream. Uh-huh. He had some food I could eat, fresh fruit, that kind of thing, so I availed myself to that. Did you find out where he'd gone? It didn't take long. He had these pictures of his sister and him everywhere. I hadn't really noticed them before. She was in a wheelchair in most of them, and on the fridge a post-it with her address and phone number. Explains the rushed exit. Yeah. Anyway, I had an address, somewhere to go. And where was that? Well, pretty far actually. Out in the Bronx. It'd take a while to walk with all public traffic out of order. As if you'd let something like that deter you. True, but it was pretty far, and I was alone. It would be dangerous. Did you reconsider? No, I wanted to find him even if it was dangerous. Kinda, I decided to leave town. Maybe I'd bump into him. Let's go look for it. I had a place to go and the will to get there. The only thing remaining was actually getting there. I explained to the others, and they understood and wished me good luck. What did it look like? The streets? Awful. Ruined buildings everywhere. Charred by fire, most of them. We had to pick our way between cars and debris and bodies. There were so many bodies. It makes me sick just to think about it. Must have been pretty difficult to travel. Yes, although it was oddly inconsistent. I think my building was the last one directly affected by the blast. About a block in the opposite direction, there was mainly intact buildings. As much as you could call them intact, I guess. Still standing. What about others? Were there any survivors on the streets? Yeah, there were others. A lot of them were a lot worse off than me. Some were blind, others were burned, broken, or in shock. There just wasn't anything I could do. Where was the government? I don't know. No one knew. I hadn't heard a single ambulance siren since the event. For all we knew, there was nothing left. This is really gruesome. And going a lot further than the last one did. We're surviving! Yay! And the Bronx? Well, as I left the center, things became less charred and destroyed. But there was distractions everywhere. It felt like no part of the town had escaped the bomb. Go on, how did it go? It was pretty slow going. There was this ashy rain half the time, but there wasn't all that much I could do. At least I had a goal. I made a breathing mask out of a spare shirt, although I'm not sure it helped much. But you made it. What did you find? Disappointment. The problem was, of course, that I had no idea where he might have gone. His apartment might have told me something, but there was no way I was going back there, so I gave up the idea. If I found him, it would be by chance or providence. So, what did you do instead? Immediate shelter was first priority. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to wait around for a while just in case. I decided to keep going. What's the difference other than the wording between I wanted to keep going and I decided to keep going? Oh, shelter sounds like it would be smart. Waiting doesn't. But at the same time, she did say that the further out she went, the better it was getting. So let's try keep going. There were a lot of other survivors on the road as well, and soon enough, the rumor started circulating. There was a government evacuation center set up in the old college. Everyone was going there. The college? As in your college? Yep. Talk about coming back to the beginning. Anyway, that's where everyone was headed. There was just one minor problem. Oh? The river. There's a river? Not something I had thought about either. I didn't live anywhere near it. So whenever I crossed it, I just drove over it. But there it was, a geographical reality. So, I mean, the bridges were surely still there. True. But when one approached them, we realized they were occupied. Uh-oh. By whom? I'm not sure. I saw them from afar and kind of ducked into cover. I saw immediately they weren't good news. They had guns and were harassing other people who'd come to the bridge. I think they were mugging them. Did they let anyone pass? Yes, some. But I didn't know what the price was or if they had some other criteria for letting people through. So what did you do? I wanted to wait nearby, see what would happen. I went up to them and confronted them. There were other bridges across. I went downriver to find one. Let's see what happens. Somehow I felt like this kind of thing couldn't be forever. Either a bigger, more powerful group would come along and chase them away, the government would show up, or then they'd get bored and leave. So I decided to wait. Alright. Where did you hole up? There was actually a parking garage nearby We could just stroll in and walk up to the upper stories. From there, you had a perfect view of the river. Right, not the best cover though. I scouted through it and found a staff area. It was small but empty. What about supplies? There was always loot to be had from surrounding buildings, even if not all of it was perhaps the safest. I did a run before settling in, gathering what I could. So, down to wait. How'd that go? There's actually not much else to say, huh? Well, I'd been feeling it for a long time already, but by then it just came to an end. I couldn't move anymore. I was too weak. I had to rest, but I couldn't even keep food down. In the end, I couldn't even stay conscious or talk. Radiation poisoning? Yes. Of the acute, bad kind. I suppose it's lucky I can't really say much more of my last time on Earth. I was too delirious, too out of it to really notice or realize anything anymore. I came in and out of it, but mostly I remember incredible pain whenever I was conscious. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What do you think? I think it felt incomplete, like there was something missing that wasn't the way it was supposed to end, you know? Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think. It felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening close enough. Maybe you can try again next night, see if you hear the same recording. Speaking of, what frequency was this on? That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I realized I had hit the right channel, and that it was in fact reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't exactly some obscure number station frequency on the AM bands. Well, maybe you'll dream it next night again. Anyway, that's the good thing with dreams. You can always dream them again. And maybe do something different the second time around. And that concludes the second playthrough of Bottom of the Well. That was interesting. I like how this one ended and everything. Yeah. Definitely more badass. I like the fact that we went to the shelter instead of looking for chests. As cool as it is to not go look for your significant other, I don't know, the story went a completely different turn, and I'm not entirely sure what would have happened if we did go look for him. Because clearly last time we went and looked for our boyfriend, and that just got us killed. But yeah. Alright, that was awesome. So, that was fun. If you liked, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more of my videos. And if you would like to see me play through this again, see what other endings we can get, feel free to leave a comment. We can always try customizing an Alice. If you have some suggestions on how I could customize an Alice, leave a comment below, and I will give it a try. Also, if you have any suggestions for any games you think I should play, or maybe even some more visual novels I should go through, because I'm actually really liking these right now. I'm contemplating doing quite a few more. Let me know what you guys would like to see me do, and I will see what I can do about doing that. So I will see you next video. Bye bye!